If you're struggling because of inflation, you know you're not alone these days. Senior wealth advisor Brad White joins us now on the floor to share how to manage your money during this uncertain and stressful time and how to invest smarter. Thanks for joining us, Brad. First off, let's get right into this. What is causing this spike in inflation we're dealing with right now?
Yeah, inflation is here, and what's causing it, in a word, by far the biggest culprit for all of this is COVID. Okay, so we have to think about what COVID did, which is essentially shut down our economy and do it in rapid speed, right? This is unprecedented. It's never happened to a modern economy. So our Congress, right, our government decided to take fiscal action that was also completely unprecedented, which was create literally trillions of dollars in stimulus. Again, something we've never done, and we've never done it this quickly. Okay, so we create trillions of dollars, which is stimulus for airline industries or hospitality industries, small businesses, individuals getting COVID relief checks and extra unemployment. Now, if you think about what inflation is in a nutshell, inflation basically just means prices, right, are going up. So how do prices go up? There's two ways that this can happen. It's when demand for things goes up, or it's when supply goes down. COVID hit us on both sides. Demand obviously went up because there's now trillions of extra dollars immediately in the economy that was meant to be spent. But let's also face it, demand went up because we were cooped up, right? We were quarantined. And so as quarantines were lifted, we all wanted to do stuff, right? We all wanted to spend money, go do things. So that's huge on demand with extra money in the economy. That's inflation in a nutshell. COVID also hurt our supply chains, right? It disrupted supply chains and businesses and industries and products and goods and services everywhere. So again, it just completely hit us on both sides of the coin. And right now, because this is all unprecedented, we're trying to figure out kind of what to do about it.
Right, and that's where we're at. More pandemic impacts we're talking about with it being triggered by this, but we're learning our way through this. How long is this going to last? We've seen some solutions to deal with it. Are there enough out there?
Yeah, so how bad is it? How long is this going to last? Obviously, I don't have the crystal ball. Nobody does. So I don't want to pretend like there's a mathematical answer. The hope is that this is a little bit more short-term in nature compared to other inflationary periods in the past, because this isn't an overall inflationary economic cycle. It was really caused by this event. So theoretically, if over the coming years post-COVID, we don't shut the economy down again, we don't add trillions and more dollars, and supply chains can go back to normal, that should neutralize a lot of the things I just talked about. The problem is a short term, from an economy standpoint, might be 2, 3, 4 years. Well, if you or I or families across the country are feeling the pain at the grocery store, feeling the pain at the pump, 2 or 3 or 4 years is a very, very long time. And if that has a more of a devastating impact, for too many people, that's bad for the economy too, right? So we're hearing the Federal Reserve say this word transitory, which means they assume, and they're telling us they think that this should be over the next 2 years or so. But the short answer that I just made kind of long is that this doesn't seem like it's a couple of month thing. It doesn't seem like it's a 10-year thing. The best guess right now is kind of the next year, 2 plus.
Okay, Brad, we only have about a minute left, so there's a couple things we wanted to get to, but I think the one you'd want to tell people is what do they need to do with their money right now as they're dealing with inflation? And again, we only have a little bit of time left.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that one then, so I'll be quick about it. Where do you put your money? How do you help beat inflation? The worst thing you could do is cash, okay? Every single year, cash is worth less than it was the year before because of inflation. If inflation's bigger, then that's worse for cash. This one I want to point out, though, because it's contrary to popular belief, which is gold, historically has been really bad during high times of inflation. I could just quickly point to the decade of the 1980s where inflation was over 5% per year. A lot of people remember that was the devastating long period of inflation. Gold lost 2.5% per year on average over the entire decade. Gold is down this year to date, while we see this high inflation. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. I don't want to make it automatic, but just please do your research on that because that's a little contrary to popular belief. Real quickly, the two best places by far, long-term, historically speaking, have been stocks and real estate. Stocks are companies. Companies make more money during inflation. Prices go up. Land and rents also tend to go up during inflationary periods, hence real estate. So that's probably the two best hedges for that for your money.
Brad White, Senior Wealth Advisor, thank you for putting the pandemic and the inflation spike we're seeing into context and the relationship and giving our people some non-reactionary ways to deal with their money. We appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad, thanks.